Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all drip ecosystem related projects. Today, why I chose integrity over exploitation as a content creator. Man, this one's gonna be some, gonna get some people in their poopy pants again. But I'm actually enjoying this because I'm gonna show you in this video that the bulk of you guys get it, and that's who I'm talking to. So like the 96+%. I'm talking to you in this video. So today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind as of lately. It's the way that some content creators, marketers, and promoters take advantage of their audiences to promote their own agendas. Now, I've touched on this in the past, and shouts out to my admin and longtime supporter of the channel, Ruby Roo, aka Hannah. She shared this video with me as a response to some of my recent content, which I'm sure you guys who follow know what I'm talking about. So in this particular video, it's 7 days ago, ironically, it's a content creator that points out the lies and deceit of big influencers that promote get rich quick courses, seminars, and investments. Now, we're not going to play this video, but he's basically talking about how they push this agenda to help you get rich, but they really don't care if you get rich. And their whole goal is to just pretend as if they're rich by shilling you information that they know, or courses, or whatever the case may be. So they actually make money off of you. So they don't really care if you get rich, even though they're trying to tell you 7 steps or tips to get rich. So in this, or with this as kind of the backdrop, that's how I'm going to explain why I chose not to exploit you all, my viewers, even if it means making some people upset in the process and not being spreading false hopium, I guess would be the narrative. So let's dive straight in. Now, before we dive in, I'm going to give you guys a little backstory and some alpha. So there's a line from Aaron Tippin's song. Aaron Tippin's a country singer that I grew up with around the 90s. And the title of the song is "You Got to Stand for Something." And the line in that song, this is Aaron Tippin here. He's much older than I remember him. But the line in the song that I'm referring to, that this video is kind of going to be picking up pieces from, is "You got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything." And that's actually in the chorus of this entire song. So I urge you guys to go listen to it, even if you're not a country enthusiast. But this is kind of the backdrop for what I'm getting into. So that line resonates with me because it's a reminder that we all have to hold on to our values, even when it's challenging. So for me, that means not compromising on creating honest, genuine content that respects my audience. That also means that I'm not going to be all sunshine and rainbows and feely good information. There's going to be some tough love sprinkled in there, and you're going to have some tough pills to swallow. And as I mentioned, that's some alpha for you guys. I'm extremely eclectic with my music and my listening habits and genres. And even though I grew up in the gangster rap era and listened to a lot of gangster rap, I did consume quite a bit of 90s country music. So I'll leave it there for that one. But anyway, we got the issue that many content creators out there are just like magicians trying to pull a rabbit out of their hat. They want to make you believe they have the secret to success, but just like a magic trick, it's all smoke and mirrors. And I personally refuse to use your trust and support to manipulate you into buying into false promises of products that I don't genuinely believe in. Or I'm not going to continue promoting a narrative if the evidence is stating otherwise. Again, you guys follow my content, know what I mean by that. So I believe we can be objectionably true and still be supportive. And if a project or promoter can't handle tough questions, then they don't deserve your support, plain and simple. And I've mentioned this before. If you don't like it, don't view the content creators. That goes for me as well. I literally don't want people here that don't resonate with the information I'm sharing and the objectionable truths, on the blockchain, the receipts, the data. Like, if you don't like that, then you need to find someone else that doesn't do that. And they just give you whatever types of food you prefer to digest. So I digress. And as I stated before, when we look at my actual stats, so I'm talking to the audience that does resonate. Again, this is the receipts. Booze don't block dunks, as Kobe Bryant said, the late great Kobe Bryant. So when I look at some of my most controversial videos, they have the highest engagement and they still have the highest like percentage. And this is after YouTube a little while ago pulled away the metric for tracking your dislikes. So people are actually going out of their way to dislike the content, and that's great. I applaud you guys for doing that. So let's look at one of the ones more recent. So this one here, Drip Community Speaks Up. So 98.4% dislike or likes. So I don't know what the number is, but 254. So we'll just say 2% of 254. So like 4 people out of 254 didn't like it. Good on you, because that means you're not supposed to, and you're a free thinker, right? So we can go to some other content. Some of them are 98, 100, whatever the case may be. Here's another one that I just recently did about marketing, saying, we don't need the marketing. Same thing, 1.5% out of 134 people. So 1 person out of 100 don't like it, right? And we come to the more controversial one. This is the lowest, the one I did on CK, 254 likes. Again, the highest ever, 6%. So 2.5 times 6, 12, 15, 20 people, 20 people out of 200. I can take that. It's less than 220 people. But point being, I'm making content to resonate with the bulk of my audience, and the bulk being more than 95% for most videos are interested in this. So I'm going to continue speaking to you all, and the ones that click the dislike button, stop watching. It's really not that hard. Don't engage with my content. Don't give me the views. Don't give me the support. It's cool. I'm not upset if you don't watch my content. I'm not upset if you unsubscribe. I'm not speaking to you, and you don't have to engage with it. That's the beauty of YouTube and being a free thinker in this day and age. You get to consume whatever supports your narrative. And that's exactly what you should do. Choose the content creators that align with your values and beliefs, and do not consume the ones that don't. So my goal is best summed up in the choosing the path of integrity, kind of like a lighthouse guiding ships through stormy waters. I want my channel to be a beacon of honesty, transparency, and integrity that illuminates the dark, murky corners of the content creation world, specifically in the DeFi space. I keep banging the drum on transparency on my projects with the Drip Marketing DAO and my Change 360. I keep showing you guys the receipts, even when you don't ask. Why? Because I think that that's necessary. That's the way I want to go with it. Other content creators, other project developers want to keep you in the dark, and they think they have the secret sauce and keep things close to the chest and make you wait forever. Like, I don't get it. The space is so small and has so much room for growth that the likelihood of anyone stealing, looking at your cards and calling your hand and being able to execute on it is so minuscule that it's just asinine, in my opinion. So transparency is what I believe is what the space needs, and I'm willing to be proven wrong in that regard by being that lighthouse. So we'll find out if I'm right or wrong as the space develops. But generally, the people that get offended, in my opinion, or triggered, generally fall into one of 2 camps. So they're usually triggered or offended because they are ashamed at themselves for not being able to speak up on their own, and it challenges their personal values and the lack thereof. And it comes from a place of envy. So they get mad and say things because they actually are jealous that they can't speak up and stand up for themselves. So that's one reason. And the second reason is that they lack the cognitive skills and self-awareness to actually understand why their lizard brain has triggered them in the first place. So they respond with emotions, which is a clear indicator the lizard brain has taken over and the prefrontal cortex is offline. So if you are familiar with how the brain works, you have your lizard mammalian brain that sits at the center, your limbic brain, and that's where emotion and things come from. That's how we get the fight and flight response. And whenever you're yelling, screaming, name calling, or whatever, you're essentially operating from there. You're just an ape. And the prefrontal cortex is how we evolved. We have logic. We can think through things clearly. You can formulate sentences. I can come and show you receipts and clearly point out problems logically. That's called a critical thinker. That's the prefrontal cortex being online. When you cannot digest that information, unfortunately, you are in your emotions and you just lack that cognitive development. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need people on both sides in humanity, but just realize what's happening within yourself, and then you can maybe start the goal to self-development and getting through there, which leads me to some comments. So there, I blurred out these people so they won't think that I'm picking on them. But this one specifically said, I have my own way of viewing the world. My response, don't we all? And thank God for that. Imagine the world if we all just blindly followed and people were afraid to speak the truth and lived in echo chambers. How scary would that be? We've seen this in history with tyranny. When people just blindly follow someone, bad things happen. We are literally free thinking animals that should be using logic and thought processes and being an individual. When you understand how your actual lens of the world is colored through your experiences, and that therefore dictates what you do, then this statement right here, having its own way of the world, makes no sense, because there should be 8 billion views of the world. Every single person has a unique experience, and we share those so that we can come together on an agreement of a path to move forward. If everybody thought the same way, then you're literally living in tyranny, or you're just too ashamed to speak up. And then this comment: feel like Drip Coach has invested his rent money. He's far too emotional. Well, when you understand, again, psychology and also the words that people use to display things. So this is a person who started a statement with feel. Therefore, this person actually is responding from emotion. If he had said, I think, then therefore it's logical. So you can learn a lot about people's communication styles and understand where they're actually coming from. So anyway, let's digest the rest of this. I'm honestly having a hard time trying to decide if he's helping the community or sabotaging it. He's very good at doing both. I responded, great. I didn't say great, but that's what I'm saying right now. That means I'm doing my job correctly, in my opinion. If you were on the fence with my content, that's great. It means it's neutral, not neural, as it should be, not false hope and not doom and gloom. Thanks for the support and for being open-minded free thinker. Good on you. So ironically, from these comments, people are upvoting them. So there's 5 for this guy, and as of right now, 2 for this one, for my response. So again, this is in the Drip chat, the Drip Maxi chat, where you're not allowed to have free thinking thought because it's an echo chamber and people get silenced and kicked out. But ironically, people even in there are quietly saying, yo, I support this. So that's why I'm gonna keep making content like that. So I digress. And there's one more. So this person on my previous video, not sure what direction you're taking since the marketing DAO has been created. You called out Crypto Kings creating a rift and now worrying about Forex operating the Drip wallets and calling him out. These actions do the opposite of what your marketing DAO was set up for. Stick to you being positive and using the project you are building for good. Again, this, I had to highlight this. So this person's idea is that I can only basically make positive content. I can only spin hopium. That is not what I'm here for. I'm not here to sell you guys a dream. I'm here to give you objectionable truths, and then you have to decide what to do with that information. And that means sometimes it's not going to taste good. And that's actually a good thing. You need friction for growth. So I responded, positive means honesty and transparency. That's my definition of positive, not just hopium, moon boy, we're all gonna make it, everything's bullish, nothing to see here, magic trick, don't look at the rabbit in the hat kind of thing. So I said, sorry, you don't like factual information. It's not my job to spin things and give false hope. I created the DAO for transparency. Hence why I make the screenshots all the time and post what the DAO is doing. Integrity. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And judging from the overwhelming support in the DAO, the wallets, and the video views in my responses, which I just showed you guys the receipts on that, I would say most people agree. And I showed you the numbers. Most people do. There are a handful that want to stick their head in the sand and pretend everything is fine. I don't operate that way. Everything is not fine. And I'm going to beat that drum for the people that agree with me. And I'm going to rally the troops to support the mission to get things fine. Right now, they are not. So this leads me to the issue we are all familiar with in this parasocial relationship that form between content creators such as myself and their audiences. This one-sided dynamic can be harmful, especially when it comes to discussing personal finances, and only showing the positive without the negative gives a false sense of hopium, and at best is complacent, and at worst, willful negligence. This is why I make it a goal to show the losses that I have incurred in this ecosystem, not just show you guys my bag. It's like, yeah, here's how much I got. No, I've been giving you step by step everything that's been happening, because you need both sides. If I only showed you the positive or only spun it positively, like, oh, it's going to the moon, this, that, and the other, then you're going to start believing that, and then you're making your investment decisions based off of the information I'm sharing. I need to give you both so you can then have the informed decision to do your own research and decide what's best for you. That's why, going back to this video here that my admin shared, content creators don't care if you get rich, it's crucial to know that most content creators don't have your best interest at heart, and they're only worried about protecting their views or their investments. So they won't say anything that could cause them to lose subs or have you think independently. Once again, we go back to good old Aaron Tippin, where he states, never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. So that's exactly what I plan to do, is stand on the principles of what's right. That's what integrity basically means to me. So instead of feeding into the manipulative tactics that have become all too common, I choose to focus on creating content that enlightens, empowers, and entertains without compromising my value. Like a tree standing tall, rooted in its principles, I refuse to bend to the pressures of exploiting my audience or to the trolls that lack the cognitive abilities to understand the information I'm sharing. It's not their fault. As I mentioned, they're operating from their limbic brain and they just haven't cognitively developed. That's not their fault, so I get it. They're just being emotional, and that's the only way they know how to express themselves. Again, I want to be that lighthouse shining the light of truth and helping you navigate your way through the content creation world. My goal is to be a reliable source of information so you can make informed decisions without feeling taken advantage of. Lastly, we go back to Aaron Tippin again, where he says, you've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. I really encourage you guys to listen to this, man. Break some stuff down in here really, really well. Where is that quote? Yeah, right here. You've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. Because that's exactly the space we live in, this echo chamber, the way things are currently done, and why I keep pushing for transparency and integrity. It's like people do not want to cause friction. In every other area within life, you have people that are able to express problems. Like literally our government's supposed to be that way. They have debates. What happened to critical thinking and free thinking individuals being able to come together and have discourse and challenge one another's viewpoints? That's why you have podcasters that, bring people on and ask them questions. You may not like Andrew Tate, but at least he stands up for his principles. And when was questioned with Patrick Bet-Davis and with Piers Morgan, he stood on his principles. That's exactly what it should be. If you say things that people don't believe in, that's cool. And you should be able to back those things up. But somehow in this DeFi degen space and this super soft society we live in, people cannot say or think freely. They have to just silence themselves because they're afraid of offending someone. To me, I take the offense as a good thing. That means if I get offended or you're offended, awesome. You're a free thinker. You're not plugged in. You're not drinking the Kool-Aid. You're not plugged into the matrix and just digesting a narrative. You have values of your own, and this information triggered you in a way. Awesome. Now digest that and figure out why. That's the important thing. That's what I stand on. So I'm happy to be ruffling feathers and causing friction with, I might add, a very small majority of you that watch my content, because it means I'm speaking my truth. And because not everyone agrees, that's the way it should be. True wisdom comes from embracing diverse perspectives and learning from those who challenge our beliefs. Without friction, there is no growth. That's all I got to say about that. So hope that provided some value. If it did, smash that HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya. Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real-world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.